Welcome back to the Iron Squid Grand Finals Chapter 2, where we are seeing Startail Life having just put himself on the map. 1, 2, 3. Oh my gosh. You know, it wasn't one of those luck wins. You know, I've seen so many events where, you know, there'll be a Zerg player who will win Game 1 with dominating performance. In Game 2, a bunch of Blue Flame Hellions swing in, kill off everything, and you think, you know, I mean, Terran won, but it's kind of
weird win. Yeah.
It's not like, oh, that guy crushed that other guy.
Yeah.
But there, Startail Life, he owned, man.
He did. He did.
I have not said owned like that.
He owned.
Yeah, he owned. Life owned Dongray-gu in that game. That was awesome. That was incredible link control. Now it's Cloud Kingdom. This is the map for counterattacks.
Yes, yes. Life here has a lot of potential. As does Dongray-gu, though. Dongray-gu's shown himself a little counter-attack edge as well, as we now move into game number 5 here, with spawning up to the top right-hand corner as our Blue Zerg. He goes by the name of MVP Dongray-gu.
And down in the bottom left, everyone expected him to cleanly win the whole tournament, but he is on the edge of defeat and will remain so for the rest of this series. It is Startail Life.
Has to play absolutely pristine for another 3 games in a row if he wants to actually clinch the title of the second Iron Squid.
You know, he's just such a fun player to follow, Life. He's such an excellent performer. He's so consistent, but I love seeing this vulnerability and his ability to perform under pressure. His comeback against Lena was amazing. I mean, now that he's on Startail, Red Bull-sponsored team, Red Bull Media House out here filming him, you know, all the buzz around him, so many eyes on him, so many cameras on him, and now he's down 0-3. Almost everyone would crack under that pressure, but he just is playing so clutch, and here he is falling back yet again on that 9-pool strategy.
One's got to wonder what they actually put in Red Bull if, you know, they have players like Life and Parting doing so well ever since they got sponsored by Red Bull. Well, the former Startail Parting, but still very strong players here, doing Red Bull and Startail proud, as Life just producing them Zerglings, getting this going. But DRG's no fool either. He knows that that can always be the case, so he went pool before his hatch.
Now, an interesting thing to note, normally with the setup that you have in Dongray-gu's shoes, I want you to look at the production tab right when that pool finishes for Dongray-gu. He will not be able to build a queen. Even if these Zerglings just do a ring around the rosy and go home, no queen will be produced. All that money, look at that. There's the 6 Zerglings down for Dongray-gu, and no queen is able to be produced yet due to these lings coming in. See the significant economic damage that's happening in an indirect form from this attack. It's what makes this such an effective play.
It looks like, actually, that's a really, really keen observation there. So for now, the Zerglings heading on in, trying to do the damage once again. In Life, when he opens like this, he almost always gets a kill or a cancel on the hatch. Will he be able to do so once again? DRG pulls drones again. He knows the severity of the situation.
I mean, this is a zero room for error situation. Oh, Life has cornered himself here. He's hoping to draw some of those units back. For every minute each drone is not mining, that's 40 minerals. So hundreds of minerals are being lost from DRG right now.
Zergling still microing back and forth here for Life. He knows he's done a lot of damage to that hatchery to kick things off. He just keeps microing back. There's a lot of lings, though, out for DRG as well here.
In the units lost tab, we see that almost nothing has actually happened in this exchange. Can Life get a single drone? Oh my
so close.
Gosh.
That one Zergling down there.
Oh God, Life has perfect freaking control, but Dongray-gu stepped up to the plate.
For now, DRG, nice defense. Extractor is on the way for Life back at home. We just have more lava injects continuing, just pumping out a ton of drones either side of the map. They both know at this point it's just the macro situation, and you know, DRG, yeah, he has a good defense setup. I don't know how Life can actually break this at this point. He has a lot of lings just sat around doing not much.
Gosh, such a sick micro display there by both players. We do see Dongregu having that drone lead, 23 drones to 20. So Dongregu will continue to have a little teensy bit of an edge as we head into the late stage. And only just now is that second queen out for Life. So suddenly Life playing a little bit from behind. Dongregu's so excellent in the straight-up game.
Yeah, nice positioning there from Life Zerglings as well to actually, once an engagement would come, try and seize the advantage, but he does not finish up with it.
Life, oh gosh. You know, there is so much. We talked about these engagements where there's zero margin for error. That was one of those engagements where there's plenty of margin for error. If at any point in that engagement Life said, oh, want to pull back, he would have had more lings alive. But now Life is going to have to build extra set of lings.
Yep. Just to account for the leftovers, basically, of DRG. And that's really, really important, because behind this, if DRG wants, well, technically speaking, he could make a ton of lings if he wanted to, which actually looks like the case, or he could have made a lot of drones and tried to get himself ahead economically.
Gosh, because, you know, the instant you fall behind on lings specifically, you are in a real bind. If you're behind on drones, you just say, okay, well, you know, I can go longer in this game. I can go on to the mid-game. I can build some units and attack. You feel like you have options. But if you're behind on lings, you automatically get torn because you say, oh, God, I know I need to build defense. And look, we see the Spine Crawler, Baneling Nest, Zerglings, all of it going thrown up by Life as he's alternating by peppering in as many drones as he can. When you fall behind on lings, you just don't know how to manage your own economy.
And with both, well, DRG just mounting up a ton of Zerglings here. How many Zerglings do we have out in total right now? 44 Zerglings for DRG to the 22 currently of Life. And with that...
There's the Zerglings moving out.
Those two, they've been seen, surely.
Oh, and there's a nice connection there. Something Life needs. He needs to get as many of these as possible, and it looks like will he be able to pick off the Banelings? No, there was a nice cancel there at the last second by Dongregu, but Life has a clear position.
I liked that by Life, though. He bought himself quite a bit of time taking that engagement in the middle of the map as opposed to on his doorstep. And
now he is in the lead in the Spire. This is an insane amount of Zerglings on the field right now. I mean, how do you micro in a situation like this? Is like, oh my God, Dongregu runs headlong into a Baneling. Dongregu with his own field of Banelings. This is going to get messy real fast, and it looks like he runs right past the workers are exposed.
He went past them.
Walked right on through. How did he find that connection, Dongregu? Dongregu was in a situation where he could have fallen well far behind, but he managed to nail 12 workers. 86 workers total killed by Life. Life got the edge in terms of the murdering of the worker front, but does he still maintain a lead? Dongregu with significantly more units lost. A couple of those infamous Lifelings heading on in.
DRG at this point has, well, it was 36 workers to 36 workers now, but that was because Life had to even up the odds. He was down 10 workers, and with all of that, I mean, he now is actually going into layer tech whilst his opponent is getting his Spire up and running. This is like one of the first times that Life's properly going to be able to get this going, apart from game one, but technically speaking, the other few games, he really wanted to go for it, but was not able to do so.
And now it looks like Dongregu might run around. But this mid-map defense by Life, very unusual, very technical, very technically difficult. But it looks like Life is holding on. And now Life, we see that ultra-early layer, allowing him to get that ultra-early Spire. I mean, Dongregu is... It's going to be a nightmare for Dongregu to get us started. Look at that first creep tumor going down right now for Dongregu. There's going to be no creep defense at that third.
Ugh. Yeah, that is going to be extremely, extremely difficult to actually hold on to against something like Mutila's play. You really need those those bases connected up just so you can transfer your queens around. Even just transferring spore crawlers around if it gets to the point where you have a few in like redundant places is something that can be important later on. The infestation pit is already on the way for him as well. I like the fact that he's getting that pretty rapidly.
Oh gosh, a supply block from Life at the wrong point in time. Dongregu waltzes right in and says, hello, Spire. This is going to mean either an instant cancel of the third base or the mass production of spores. And it looks like, Dongregu's main not really having that queen in the right spot at the right time. Life knows what he needs to kill off. He's target firing it. Can he get it? Can he get it? Can he get it? And there's the cancel from Dongregu.
well, he did say there was going to be a cancel, but just not for the reasons in the end that actually prevailed. Life here with the Zergling counterattack doing a lot of damage, denying the third. And now here come the Mutalists to deny the third for the second time.
I mean, Life looking absolutely just phenomenal in this position. Dongregu is now on the back foot, has to be the defender, and the Mutalists are going to just rain hell down on these Banelings. Suddenly, Life has the clear edge on the ground. Oh my gosh, after being so far behind at game start, I actually think Life is now going to be able to pull this off.
Maybe. He does have Pathogen Glands on the way, though. These Mutalists are going to fly in. Do they end up seeing the the Infestation Pit? They should be able to in that range, and now he knows he has to be very, very careful. One Queen goes down, kills a few drones as well. The Infestors will pop in just a second, though.
Oh my gosh, he's killing so many workers up here in the main base. See ya later. Worker line, Zergling counterattack by DRG. He is going to run right into a trap. There goes all those lings. God, Life, is he actually going to win this? Is this the beginning of a comeback?
It might well be. Life is playing phenomenally here, and DRG is allowing his opponent to take all these small advantages, like running head first into a pack of, into a Baneling with a pack of Zerglings, etc. All these small little details are really adding up to a massive advantage for Life.
This is nuts. I mean, Life, all players are going to want to be flooding Lings and Zerglings right now, trying to attack Life. De-emphasizing the Mutalists, getting more Infestors. Ooh, that's got to sting. See you later, Zerglings, but I mean, Dongregu may have begun those Infestors a little earlier, but that third base of Life is looking well and good right now. Already saturated up on both those geysers. Now just a matter of time before those minerals get added to.
Yeah, it's looking really difficult here for Dongregu to actually come back against this, especially considering he's losing a few Overlords in the middle of the map, supply blocking him for quite a while there. And Life, he's going to take full advantage of that. He's getting his own Roaches, his own Infestors. He's already finished his Pathogen Glands, and he's just looking for little counter-attack potentials with, again, more retained Lings from the early game.
Oh my gosh, Life with Mutalisk number 3. Oh, Igor,
the
Russian caster. Oh, Life took his headphones off and sat back. Oh gosh, this is such a blunt. I mean, Life is really having focus issues. I mean, if you look down in, I mean, Dongregu, look at Dongregu's screen. You see that he is not even reacting in the slightest to this, but Life taking his headphones off. Shocking play from the young Zerg.
Yeah, he's getting the Roaches as well as the Gliry Constitution on the way for them. A few Banelings going to waddle right on in and connect with a few drones.
Oh my God!
I mean, if there were any way to increase your lead, that was one of them.
Wow. 23 workers killed off by Life. And you think that this game all started with Dongregu landing the perfect Baneling connection.
That was crazy. That was just like, hi guys, what's going on? For Banelings doing a job pretty darn well as Life now moves into the middle of the map with the rest contingent of his army. And Dongregu is going to have a hard time dealing with it, I should think.
Now Life is in a position where he has the fungal growth advantage. He can easily deny any movement from DRG. This is generally where you will try to set up a fourth base. But there's the Zerglings darting up into the main. Oh my God, it's a triple-pronged attack. Zerglings in the main base, wreaking havoc, and the third is under attack as well. Oh, huge fungals, massive amounts of infested Terrans, and Startail Life also running more Roaches into the natural expansion of DRG.
This is just too much. If he doesn't actually do massive damage at the third, he's already killed the Queen in the main. He's going to limit so much lava production. Life behind this is going to have a superior economy. He's killed a ton of drones. He can easily remax on an effective army against what we're seeing here from DRG. So it's so clever play.
Here's the weird suicidal moves that we see out of Life. He's throwing tons of units at DRG. It looks like he's coming out at a huge loss, but he's getting an earlier expansion. He's starting to get into a solid position. Dongregu's early losses in the early games still having him with more units lost than Life. But Life just does these crazy freaking attacks, Kalaris.
Yeah, he just goes for it. And, well, it seems to do the job. I mean, he's up 10 workers right now. And in terms of lava, he'll be up quite considerably as well as his queens. He had more queens than his opponent for just a small portion of time during all of that. And Life, DRG he has to make something effective happen here. I guess one of those would be to just max out on a Hydra-based army and just try and deal with it that way. But still going to be difficult.
Right now, it's all turning back to the sort of standard-looking Zerg versus Zerg. If we move up and right to where Life's army is right now, we see this high ground pod just above the 4th base. This area is the most important zone to to control. Just up above the 4th base. That way you can protect the counterattack path behind your 3rd. You can easily control the watchtower that's slightly above that. This place where Life is standing is the most pivotal part for him to control defensively. Same story for DRG. DRG's holding that area right now. And Life is going to be in an awkward spot moving up through this area. But this is a good way to get a few roaches in to do a little teensy bit of damage.
Especially if they're able to get 1 or 2 infestors, but one of them is in pursuit once again. Here does go down.
Oh my God, Life went straight for the jugular. DRG tried to pull back through the neck of his 3rd. A big mistake.
Looks like he will be able to land a lot of fungals, locking down a ton of this army as well. Infested Terrans galore on the way here, but Life's just staking a big supply advantage as he reinforces with another 20 roaches off the back of this, doing the damage. And these trades that DRG just effectively can't go for in comparison to Life right now.
Again, you look at the 4th base of DRG, it's hardly been started. There's not even really any drones there. Then you look at Life's 4th base, and it is rocking to the max. 3 drones saturating both of those geysers. The good old income tab is always seeming a little bit more red than blue these days. Life is just playing the clutch mode of his life.
Yeah, and fully enough, it's interesting because DRG's in a little bit of an odd spot in ZVZ right now. He forwent carapace upgrades for ages and ages and ages. So the more Hydralisks Life actually mixes into his composition, the more devastating it's going to be for DRG because of the way in which carapace upgrades work against Hydras as opposed to Roaches. And that's a really odd situation to be in at the 22-minute stage of a game as DRG here.
And here comes the classic Life counterattacks. You know, a lot of people joke that they like having 3 bases more than 4 bases on this map in Zerg vs. Zerg because of how difficult it is to manage the counterattack. Startail Life shooting from above with those roaches, picking off just 1 or 2 drones, but basically making DRG have 0 seconds to ease up and relax and refocus.
It's very difficult here for DRG to really kind of recuperate his losses and really compose himself to actually deal with this. Life behind this, actually no, it's DRG himself who's going for the hive here, so he feels a little bit confident as to try and transition on to either the 3-3 upgrades, the potential of them, and from that point on, I think that it's going to be a little bit hectic here. See what actually happens.
Roach waltz up into the natural expansion. Another distraction, a perfect opportunity for Life to head for the 4th, and that he does.
We do now have plenty more roaches on the way here for DRG as well, just trying to get everything going, but more roaches on the way for Life to try and put on a bit of pressure. If he can get the Queen, that was all they needed to do, but they do not. A nice save there by DRG.
Yeah, DRG's done an amazing job of holding off the last 2 big engagement attempts by Life, and that means that DRG is slowly able to chip ahead to get into a theoretically better spot. But as we head to the unit counting tab, we can see exactly the sort of position that Life is putting himself in. More Hydras, more Infestors, less Roaches. Yeah, DRG might be max, but he's at 45 Roaches and only 6 Hydralisks. So the brute force army of Life is a hell of a lot stronger.
I think one of the saving graces for DRG, though, is, in fact, that tech advantage that he has slightly here. I mean, I don't think Life will end up letting up. I think he'll be relentless and say, well, I'm maxed out, I have the trades, I have the bank, let's go, go, go. But if DRG can buy enough time to get +3 out and the Spire, etc., he could be in an okay spot.
Life just trying to do a little bit of chipping damage at this point in time. Trying to get DRG out of position. Life is putting this pressure on at the 4th to try to open up an attack to attack the natural.
That was the weirdest set of little trades ever. Just poking back and forth with 1 or 2
Oh,
infestors.
gosh, and see, this is the move. Poking at that 4th, and then Life pulls back hard and says, can I slide up into your natural? And if the answer is no, he's just pulling on back. Mainly Hydras, mainly Infestors, not a lot of Roaches for Life. And now the Greater Spire's coming.
Yeah, moving back to his defensive location there. As for now, as you said, the Greater Spire on the way. That's very, very important here. Life gaining himself a bit of an advantage in terms of that tech. Greater Spire now on the way as well for Don Regu, but 3-3 in terms of range and carapace already on the way for DRG, whereas Life only has +3 weapons on the way. But he does have 8 spine crawlers going down. Is he going to cancel all those and just get more supply? Maybe this one. But or can just use him for defense.
Yeah, I mean, I think he might just want to have the defense up. The instant you transition into Broodlords, you are essentially saying, I now suck versus Roach counterattacks. Please kill me with them. So Life really wants to get all that defense up, but it looks like Dong Regu is doing the same thing to Life. First time Dong Regu's gotten him out. A big offensive. He slides right up into the 4th base, and it looks like Life is falling for the same thing that he's been dishing out all game long.
He caught a lot of those units off guard there, so it was a nice little engagement for DRG up to the north. But down to the south, I mean, Life has so much firepower here. I don't think DRG should be fully taking that engagement, and indeed, he has to fall back for now. There's no way he could have actually made even a dent in that armor.
Gosh, 51 larva for Life, 4 larva for DRG. I mean, having that earlier macro hatch for Startail Life means that he is going to be excellent with these 300 supply armies, which is essentially a maxed army, and then when it's dead, you replenish it. 300 supply. Only possible with all that extra larva. And now Life getting himself a grand total of 8 Broodlords.
And this is the odd situation that we once again find ourselves in. Does someone now say, oh, well, you know, we're both going Broodlord, Broodlord. I'm just going to not turn a lot of mine into Broodlords and keep them as Corruptors. But the problem with that is there's so much anti-air on the ground in the form of Infested Terrans, in the form of Hydralisks. The Corruptors end up melting extremely quickly. So if you're left high and dry without Broodlords or Corruptors, it's a terrible thing, a terrible spot to be in. So I almost say just go for the Broodlords in that.
And now we finally see Life really committing to that Hive tech now. He's sacrificing Roaches. He's trying to pick off expansions. We see DRG insinuating that he wants to do the same thing, but Life's defense is a little bit better established. And this target fire, I don't think should be able to kill this off, but that's fine. Life finds some juicy drones and will target fire away.
Juicy drones, juicy queens, they go down, but not after burrowing. And for now we have, ooh, it needs to be careful with those infestors. They were leading the charge, but those Broodlords are certainly going to have a lot to say to DRG.
A couple of those infestors get caught by the fungal growth, and now that means that the Broodlords target fire them, knock them out, and the Corruptors of DRG are in trouble.
Oh, and getting chain fungled, but they don't get locked down for fully long there. As they will take down the rest of the Broodlords, but the ground army of DRG, Life even trying to hold on strong. The Broodlords do go down. All DRG has to do is pull back these Corruptors. He doesn't need to stay and fight a Corruptor.
Gosh, I mean, Life is just inches away from shoving it into his field advantage permanently, and then DRG will have to type out. But Dong Regu is holding strong with these inferior Broodlord counts, oddly having just the right Corruptors at just the right angle. This final engagement in the center is really hurting DRG hard. He's going to have to scramble to recoup his units again. We see Life has not been on the defensive for the last 20 minutes of this game.
I think there's a few more units up to the top left as well, putting on some pressure, or either they're all just burrowed. Yeah, the Roaches are still burrowed there, just chilling out. Good. Well, he couldn't easily unburrow those, but still, just focusing all his attention in the middle of the map here. DRG, I can't imagine, has the most amazing economy, but actually he does have a better economy than Life, so this is still down to the wire, but Life's army just feels better at every single turn than DRG's right now.
Yet again, another small engagement, but Dong Regu gets the big edge with a fungal growth. More Hydras being produced from Life. He's attempting to do those transitions into Broodlord, but I mean, Dong Regu just doing the most basic thing in this matchup. Focus on minerals, focus on Roaches, focus on attacking.
Yeah. And it's working out, to be honest with you. I mean, DRG here is taking a supply lead, actually, which is pretty darn impressive. As long as he's able to clean up the rest of these small counters from his opponent, he's actually now in a position where he's fully turning this game around. And his army is bigger. Life has to take a step back here and reevaluate his situation. He can't continue to throw away units constantly, because it's getting to the point now where DRG is stabilizing at the same rate he had.
Wow, Life has such patience. Not only did he wait for oh so long to do the unburrowing in the top left, but the instant there was a free opportunity to, he took it almost instantly.
Looks like 5 kills on that one roach there, doing a pretty darn good job for itself. And finally will end up dying off, so... But, you know, DRG still has a very, very nice army there. How many infestors does he have? 15 infestors out in comparison to his opponent's 10 right now. And, hey, there's still 2 Mutalisks on the map somewhere. I don't know where they are.
Well, they should kill off Overlords and get map control.
They should.
Nice.
But then again, I guess the Hydralisks would come and chew them up, so... But still, it's actually, you know, 4 supply that's been dancing around doing nothing for the longest time. If he would have 2 more roaches for that, it'd be nice. Or even an extra Broodlord.
You know, I love that Life has these attacks going on that is a Hydralisk, 2 roaches, 4 roaches, not these large committal attacks where it's like, I'm going to run 30 Zerglings into his main base. I mean, Life just says, if you're distracted for, what, 20 seconds, my 1 Hydra will kill off 7 to 10 drones.
My 1 Hydra. It sounds so non-threatening, but it actually can be, especially with +3 weapons.
Right now, Dongray Goose still hanging in the center, refusing to do the transition into Broodlord tech. Makes a lot of sense. He wants to get close to max. Maxed armies almost always better than unmaxed Broodlord armies. Big bungles hitting the most important pack of units here. The Corruptors. The Broodlords a safe distance away. Dongray Goose looks like he is in a little bit of trouble with this Corruptor pack, but on the ground, Life is wrecking. The Hydralisk finally turning the tide, and there's the GG. Oh my God, after 3 incredibly swift games. Life is beginning to make the comeback. It is 2-3. Dongray Goose still has the lead, but I mean, that psychological edge is slipping away.
I thought you were going to say, after 3 incredibly swift games, that was not swift. that was like almost a 40-minute game, now I think about it. But yeah, geez, I mean, that was going back and forth, back and forth. It always kind of felt like Life had the momentum for a very long time, like the first 20 minutes of the entire game. But then, you know, we had DRG pulling himself back in, getting max, getting 3-3, etc., etc. And Life just constantly kept pushing and kept taking the advantage eventually and winning.
Yeah, I love the way that even though it looked like a pretty even game, a little bit of back and forth in terms of the supply count, if you stop and think about it, Life was almost never under attack. Or actually never even under pressure. Life was the one in the middle of the map. Dongray Goose was the one pulling back and carefully repositioning and barely getting up a 5th base and having no workers at his 4th because he was being attacked so much. Life is proactive. He pressures with his units. That's clearly his comfort zone. That's clearly his strength. And right now he has a big psychological momentum going into Game 6.
Yeah. And it's important that you mention that because keeping, in ZVZ or any matchup for that matter, keeping all the engagements away from your base is a phenomenal position to be in. Keeping them away from any kind of economical harm, any kind of economical, just even disruption of any kind whatsoever is such a fantastic tool to have, and Life does it really, really, really well.
This is the reason why Life is considered by many to be the best player in the world. No matter what he's doing, no matter what you're doing, you always seem to feel like you're on the verge of losing to a huge attack at any minute. So, guys, stay tuned. Game 6 coming up after this. It was 3-0. It is now 3-2. It could be getting tied up right after this.